Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about Colourpop. Now I have been compiling some things into my cart on Colourpop's website for quite a while now. They've had some really fun and interesting releases come out over the last couple months. Finally placed my order, got my stuff here, and I'm going to share it with you guys. We will be trying some of this stuff on. Obviously we can't try everything on, but anything that I'm not trying on for you guys, I'll try and do swatches of. I've got some of the new Zodiac Pigments here. We have the new BFF Mascara. I have a lot of lip products and also an eyeshadow palette because I'm weak. But hopefully this sounds like fun to you guys. I love this look I came up with today. Can't wait to share it with you guys. Before we do, if you are new, I hope that you'll subscribe and stick around for a while, and let's go ahead and jump right into my box. So let me just walk you guys through really quickly the things that I picked up. I picked up 4 of the pigments. I got basically all the neutral colors, which I know was a little bit boring, but I just figured these are the colors I would get more use out of. So my thinking was if I got colors that were a little bit more neutral, I'd be more likely to use them more often. So I picked up the white, which is the maiden, the gold, which is the lion. This one is so beautiful. The goat, which is the bronze, and then the scales, which is the pink. I think these are all really stunning. I will insert the swatches here of each of these. I found when I was playing around with these yesterday that these definitely need to be used wet. I highly recommend either using a damp brush or finger to get the very most out of these. It makes a huge difference in how these apply. The swatches that I showed you were applied with a damp finger. I also picked up the BFF mascara. I grabbed 3 lip liners. I actually grabbed 2, but they sent me a free one because they said that my order was running late, which it actually wasn't, but I'm not going to complain. I will take a free lip liner any day. I grabbed 3 lippy sticks because I love this formula. And then I also grabbed quite a few of their Luxe lipsticks. I got the colors LA Lady, What's Your Sign, Mind Trick, and Tiptoe. I'll do some lip swatching for you guys at the end of the video so you can see these swatched next to each other on my arm. Also picked up one of their Velvet Blur lipsticks in the color CA Love. I also grabbed one of their Brow Boss gels. This is the clear version. These are very tiny. I have some small brow products in my collection, but this one seems exceptionally small and empty. I don't imagine this is going to last very long, but we'll see. Then I grabbed one of their lip glosses in the color Fairy Floss, and I also grabbed their liquid lipstick in the color Ariba. And lastly, but not least, I picked up their Through My Eyes eyeshadow palette, which I know has been out for a while, but I'm a sucker for an eyeshadow palette. So let's go ahead and jump into the eyes. So I'm not sure if I already mentioned in my intro or not because I haven't done my intro yet, but yesterday I did actually already start filming this video, but halfway through doing my eyes, I had forgotten that I had to pick my husband up at the airport. So I had to kind of drop what I was doing, rush into the airport and pick him up, and then we had a busy night after that. So I just decided to kind of start from scratch. So I have already created this look once, technically. So we're gonna go in with this shade right here. This is Sandalwood. It's just maybe a half shade darker than my natural lid color. And I'm gonna take this Moda Metallics crease brush. It's actually their super crease brush. This thing is awesome. If you love a big crease brush, which I do, this is a really good one. I actually just got sent these by Moda Brushes, which I was so excited about. And I want to say thank you to, I think 1 or 2 of you recommended me as an affiliate for them. So they reached out to me and I was so excited to have my first PR package. That was so exciting for me, and I'm really excited to try these out because I know they're a more affordable brush line. But as I try out these brushes a little bit more, I'll give you guys my kind of full thoughts on them, which ones are worth it, which ones I would think maybe are not worth it. I'll definitely let you guys know which ones I think are maybe worth picking up. Now I'm going to dip into this shade right here, which is the color Canela. It's kind of a rosy brown. It does look like it has some glitter in it, but it applies like a matte eyeshadow. And I'm going to pop that just kind of right there in my socket. And on the outer corner, I'm going to keep it nice and round. Now I'm going to take that same color right there, and I'm going to take this Moda brush. This is this is in their smaller kit. I can't remember what this kit was called, but this is their smoky eye brush. There were a couple brushes in that kit that I didn't really love, but I do like this as a lower lash line brush. Back into that shader brush, I'm going to dip into this darkest color in here. This is the color Divina. This is the prettiest, kind of burgundy, deep purple. This is such a pretty outer corner shade. This is a good alternative to a chocolatey brown. It kind of has warmth to it, kind of like a chocolatey brown would, but the subtle purple color is really, really pretty. Hopefully you guys can see. Can you see just how pretty that is? Just keeping that kind of concentrated right at that lash line. So now I'm going to go into my pigments. I'm going to use the Lion today. This is the gold. These are very, very messy. I will definitely tell you that, but this is such a beautiful gold. So I'm going to take just a tiny bit. I tapped a little bit into the lid. So I did some experimenting yesterday. I found this to be probably the easiest way, at least for me, to apply these. And I find that to be to just kind of spritz a little bit of, this is just a rose water spray on the back of my hand. Then I just take my ring finger and I kind of just rub it onto the back of my hand to get it slightly damp. And then I dip into the cap and kind of tap back and forth to just pick up some of that product. I would recommend not doing your face first, but if you do, just grab a little cotton pad and stick it underneath your eye while you're kind of applying the pigment. And then I just start tapping it onto my eyelid. And you can dip back in. My finger is still just a tiny bit wet, and my wrist is still wet too, so I can actually dip back onto my wrist, back into the cap, and just keep building that up to the intensity that you want. So I'm going to grab my MAC 217 brush. I'm going to keep that pad kind of underneath my eye because I want to blend out this edge a little bit, but that's going to create quite a bit of fallout. So I'm just doing the same on this eye. So I have quite a bit more on this finger. This one might be a little bit more intense. Sorry, my mouth is covered. You probably can't hear me very well, but... So yeah, can you see the intensity difference between this eye and this eye? I went in a little bit more heavy fingered on this eye. It's quite a bit more intense. Look how pretty that is. But hopefully that will give you guys an idea on, it's a little more of like everyday kind of wearable, a little more glam. I'm gonna actually kind of tone that down just a notch by taking my 217 brush and just feathering those edges a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see how pretty and shimmery and glorious that looks. Such a pretty gold. So if you do have some fallout, which I do, I'm just going to take a clean brush. I'm going to try to just kind of dust it away. And I'm going to add just a little bit more of that rich purple to my outer corner. And because I'm going to be kind of disturbing the edge of that glittery pigment, I'm still going to use that cotton pad underneath my eye just to sort of minimize some of that fallout. So when I did this yesterday, I did a little bit more on my lower lash line, but because I'm going to be going to McDonald's, I really don't want to look too glamorous. So I'm going to keep it where it is for today. I'm going to just go in with my brown liner. This is the LA Girl Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Liner. I'm just going to apply some of this on my upper waterline. And then I'm also going to apply some just right along the outer lash line. Just on top. Now we're going to try out the BFF Mascara. I did try this out yesterday. I really like this mascara. I will say I didn't really fully test this out yesterday. I put it on late in the afternoon, only wore it for a few hours, and I didn't really inspect for smudges or for flaking at the end of the night. So I do need to do that before I give it my full stamp of approval, but it is a good mascara. It has a nice natural brush. We're just going to go in and kind of start building this up on the lashes. Alright, and there are the finished eyes. Hopefully you guys can kind of see how pretty those colors are together. Don't you love that kind of purpley brown mixed with that gold? I like this gold because it's not too bronzy colored, but it's also not too kind of greenish brassy colored either. It's right there in the middle. It's just a perfect shade that I think would go with anything. So one more thing before we jump into the lips, I'm going to go in and just coat my eyebrows in this Brow Boss Clear Brow Gel. What is this called? Gel. Yes, it's a gel. I used this yesterday, but I didn't really check on my brows later in the day to inspect how they held up. I'll have to give this a really good test before I give you guys my final thoughts if I think it's a yay or an A, but I will keep trying this out. I imagine it will last me about 4 applications because this thing is tiny. So there are the finished eyes. I'm going to pause right here. I'm actually going to be taking my daughter and my nephew to McDonald's right now, and then when I get back, I'll put Charlie down for a nap, and we will get into some of these lip products. Back from McDonald's, let's get into some lip swatching. Now, I don't know that I'm going to be able to live swatch these on my actual lips. My lips are in pretty rough shape. They've been in rough shape since, I want to say December or January. They're kind of still recovering from the very cold, windy, stormy, terrible winter that we've been having here. I will end up doing one lip look at the end, but I'm going to go ahead and just swatch these on my arm to begin with. I know that's not the most helpful, but I always think it's helpful to see lip colors paired against each other because it kind of helps you determine which ones you prefer compare to each other. That was probably not the best way to say that. So we're going to start off with their lip liners that I picked up. First off is the color Oh Snap. Now this was recommended to me by Samantha March, who's been talking about this a lot lately. It is a beautiful shade. I've already swatched all of these. I think this is definitely my favorite one. It's one of those colors that is kind of a go with any nude type of lip color. Next up, I also picked up the color Brink, which is right here. You'll see this one just has a little bit more of like a pink undertone to it. It's not quite as neutral. It's a little bit brighter, but still very wearable, still very neutral. Excited about this one too. And then the last one is the one that I didn't pick out. They just sent this to me. This was the color Frida. This one's very peachy pink. It's a lot brighter. Very pretty though. I think I would wear all three of these. So excited to try these out. Now for a couple of lippy pencils. So I also picked up the color Brink in one of their lippy pencils. I love their lippy pencils. They are some of my very favorites. So here's the color Brink, which is supposed to match that lip liner right above it. They do look about the exact same shade. Beautiful shade. Very excited about this one. Probably one of my favorite picks that I got in my order. Next up is the color Girl Gang. This is a little bit more of kind of like a brown tone, and it's a little bit deeper. It's like a brown tone mauve. It does remind me a little bit of the Grunge lippy pencil from them, which is also one of my favorites. I don't know if they still make that one. Speaking of lippy pencils, did you guys know that they discontinued Frenchie, which is one of my all-time favorite red lip colors? So unfortunate, and because they discontinued that shade, I was determined to get a couple of reds in this order and see if I can find a replacement. So I did pick up this one, which is the color Trust Me. This is definitely not quite as orangey red as Frenchie. It's a little bit more of a pink. I mean, I wouldn't call this a pink. This is definitely just a basic red, but it does have, it leans a little bit more on the pink side of a red than on the orange side of a red. I like my reds to lean a little bit more orange. This one's kind of right there in the middle. But I definitely, if I kind of smudge it out, you'll kind of see the pink undertone to it, which I'm not opposed to, but I just prefer one that has a little more orange in it. Now I want to swatch for you guys this. This is their Velvet Blur lipstick. This is in the color CA Love. I did wear this one yesterday. It's a very interesting formula. This is a little bit more, I was thinking it would be more of a mauve color. It definitely has more of like a peachy, sort of brownish undertone to it. It's a medium toned nude, but I definitely think it's a very pretty wearable shade. The formula is really interesting. It's very comfortable, but it looks very matte on the lips. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to kind of work with this thing. I mean, I didn't dislike it. It's a very unique formula for sure. The next four lipsticks I picked up are all just from their Cream Luxe line. First off is the color Tiptoe. This is probably another one of my favorites. This is a much more light toned nude. It reminds me of Appy, which I really love, but it has a little bit more pink in it than Appy. Then I picked up the color What's Your Sign? So this is one of the ones that Kathleen Lights came out with in her Zodiac collection. You can see it has a little more peach in it than this one right here, which is Tiptoe. But I tried this on my lips yesterday. Granted, my lips do not look great right now, so pretty much anything I put on my lips that is not a gloss is not going to look its best, so I don't want to write this one off quite yet, but it did not look very good on my lips. I do think the color is very pretty. I just really thought my lips looked old when I put that lipstick on. Granted, they are getting older, so that might just be the real problem right there. Now this one right here is LA Lady. This was probably one of my very favorites. This is such a pretty color. It's kind of a rosy mauve. Very pretty. Loved the formula on this one. And then the last one I picked up, I've had this in my cart for a while. I think I saw Samantha March wearing this in one of her videos. I loved it so much that I don't always check what they're wearing on their face, but if I see something I like, I'll go and check in the description box what it is that that person is wearing. And she was wearing this lipstick and I absolutely loved it. This is the color Mind Trick. Did I already say that? So this is an orangey red that leans a little bit more terracotta neutral than vibrant and neon and bright. I don't know if that made a lot of sense, but I would describe this as a toned down bright orange red. This would be a great color for someone that's wanting to dip their toes into an orange toned red, but you don't want to go super bold or intense yet. This would be a great one. Love that color. I'm really excited to try that one out. I also picked up the color Reba. This color has been around for quite a while. I've heard people raving about this for years, and I'm always on the hunt for a perfect red, so I thought I'd give this one a try. I'm not a huge fan of Colourpop's Ultra Matte lipsticks, but I just wanted to try this color, so let me swatch this for you. This is a good, bright, but very basic red. To me, this color is a perfect Old Hollywood red. It's not pink toned, but it's also not orange toned. It is right there in the middle. It doesn't really lean pink or orange. It's just basic red, and that is really hard to find. So if you have been looking for just a good basic classic red, I think this would be the perfect color for that. And then last up for lip products is this gloss in the color Fairy Floss. So I'm actually wearing this right now. I would call this a milky pink. It's like 50% opaque, so it does have quite a bit of color to it, but if you put a lipstick underneath it, your lip color still will kind of shine through. I love this type of a color in a gloss. I do wish that this was a doe foot instead of a brush. I thought that was kind of interesting because Moonchild is a doe foot, so I was surprised to see that this one actually has a brush applicator. Now I'm just trying to decide which one to go with today. I think I'm going to go with this LA Lady one right here. And let's start off by going in with my lip liner in the color Oh Snap. Anyone else terrible at putting their lipstick on straight? I am. Alright guys, so there is that color. I think I want to add just a little bit of this one right here, what color was that? Tiptoe in the center, just to kind of lighten things up in the middle. And last we're going to top that off with a bit of lip gloss. Alright guys, and that completes today's makeup look using some new stuff from Colourpop. I will try to keep you guys updated in a future video on how these products worked out for me, because some of them I do still need to play with a little bit more. I like to take my time to really get to know something before I really declare it to be an absolute favorite product. But I'm really excited about some of these things. Love this gold pigment, excited about the lipsticks. I'm really excited about this eyeshadow palette that I don't need. And I will be sure to update you guys on the mascara once I figure out kind of how it wears, how it lasts. I'll let you guys know. Let me know if there's anything from Colourpop that you recently have tried out, loved, or hated it. Let us know in the comments below. If you are new, I hope that you will subscribe before you leave. Thank you all for stopping by today, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. We get into it, and then let's go ahead and, what was this? Oh, awkward hands. Color Shadowland. No, it's not. Sandalwood. Clearly I can't read upside.